How are the preparations going?
Good so far. I'm hitting it solid. The greens seem like they're rolling pretty well on the practice greens. I haven't been out to the golf course yet, but right after this, going to go play 9 and see how the elements fare for my game and make some adjustments where I need to make them and continue to work my hardest to be prepared for this event.
Question in the front.
So Bryson, your first Open was 2017. What have you learned about playing links courses, especially as it pertains to your game?
Yeah, you have to adapt very well. And, you know, when I played the Walker Cup in 2016, no, 2015. Was it 2015? I think 2015. I don't remember. It's like 10 years ago. But when I played I think it was 2015. Walker Cup at Royal Lytham St. Anne's, I played really well. I shot 66 in the singles matches, and I played great golf. So I felt comfortable coming over here in 2017, and then I just wasn't prepared for the elements. The times I've been over here, for some reason, my golf swing hasn't been where it needs to be, and right now it feels as good as it's ever been, and hitting it far, hitting it as straight as I can, and learning how to putt better on these greens in windy conditions and rain and all that. It's just figuring it out, and it's just going to take time and something that I've never really experienced growing up in California.
Mic 3, please.
Bryce, over here. Yeah, I was going to say last year at Troon, you were laughing when you said it, but your quote was, "I can do it when it's warm and not windy."
Yeah,
so
that's right. Yeah,
have things changed, but also just on a tactical level. What do you need to do in links golf that's different? Like shot to shot, what skills do you have to build up?
I think building up, hitting it, and using the wind, playing into the wind a lot more, not trying to ride the wind, is something that is pretty simple to talk about, but sometimes difficult to execute when it's a unique scenario, depending on where the hazards are and the bunkers are, and trying to hit a certain shot to a certain place. Just being a little more strategic, and that's what we're going to look at doing this week, is just trying to be as strategic as possible and putting the ball in places where, you know, I can give myself good chances for birdie, but also not give myself too many difficult places to play from is the goal.
Dumb follow-up probably, but does it involve more thinking over the ball with each shot? Are there more things to think about?
100%. You're feeling the wind, how much it's coming into you, and if it's off the left or right, a lot more than normal. And okay, how do I feel how to turn this into the wind, or, you know, if you're going to try and ride the wind one time, how do I control that, make sure it doesn't go into a crazy place? Because once that ball gets going with that wind, I mean, it's sayonara. That thing can go forever offline. It'll turn east, you know, sometimes. But just having fun out here is what I'm trying to accomplish this week, and being pretty strategic.
Just next to you, yeah.
Yeah, Bryson, people have a lot of different ways to describe, like, the wind over here. Some guys have called it a heavy wind or a thick wind. I was wondering if that makes sense to you, if there's a way to quantify that, and how that's different than somewhere else.
I'm still working on that. We're doing some testing right now, and going to continue working on how different types of wind affect the golf balls. It's something I'm working on a personal project, and it's going to take time to understand it. From a terminology, yeah, heavy wind's a great way to describe it. It's thick. Like I'm not going to say, okay. You know, it's one of those situations where you're in the environment and you go, all right, this feels like a 15-mile-an-hour wind. And all of a sudden it plays like a 30-mile-an-hour wind. And you're like, what the heck? So I think that's the trick of it. If you grow up here, you play a lot of golf over here, you get quite comfortable and knowledgeable about that. I just need more reps, in a sense. And hopefully I've had enough reps to be able to do that. Played well in some windy conditions. Andalusia was a good test last week in the first few days. Played well. But again, the wind is different from there to here. So we'll see how it goes this week, and hopefully it stays warm and my body stays warm. And but yeah, it is a thick wind.
Joy in the front, please.
Bryson, something on the similar lines. You said last year that you were blown away by the wind.
Yeah, literally.
But this year you've had some really good round in the winds. I mean, we talked about Miami.
Miami was a good one.
Valderrama was another.
Yeah.
what kind of things did you try to do to become a better wind player? And given your scientific bent of mind, did you get into a wind tunnel and try to do things?
Oh, man, imagine, okay, this is going to be wild, but imagine a scenario where you've got like a 400-yard tent, right? And you can just hit any type of shot with any wind, with all the fans. Like that's what I imagine, like in a hangar or something like that in a big stadium. That'd be cool to test, one. But two, all I've really done is hit more half shots and tried to play into the wind a lot more. So if it's a left to right wind, I'll draw it. If it's a right to left wind, I'll try to cut it more often than not. If I try to play with the wind, sometimes I lose control of that golf ball, and that's what I did whenever I had a right to left wind and I was trying to hit draws. Man, that thing would go forever offline. So those are the few things that I've been working on. And wouldn't it be cool to test in like a massive wind tunnel? Yes, I'd love to. I'd for sure do that.
Number 1 here, please.
Hi, Bryson. What was your reaction to LIV's renewed application for world ranking points? Was it something that you were expecting, or had you sort of given up on that? And what are your general thoughts on the direction of the league 3 years in?
Yeah, I think it's great that we're. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys think we should get points? I would say that we've got some pretty good players over there. Going through the right process is important, and I think Scott and all of us are looking forward to going through that process and getting it done the right way, and we're excited for that. Where do I think LIV is currently is you know, it's moving in the right direction. We're commercializing. We've got some good partners aboard with us now. Is it taking longer than we would have thought? Yeah, but we're okay with that. And I think Scott's okay with that, and HE is. I'm not going to speak for him, but I think he is too. And we'll see where it goes. You know, we're excited to see with the new commissioner coming in and Scott and them being friends. I think there's something that can get done in a good way for the game of golf. So I'm really excited for the future of the game. There's a lot of positive movement going on currently.
Brian on the left.
Hi, Bryson. Good to see you.
See you.
You're playing the first 2 rounds this year with Justin Rose and our own Bob McIntyre. I know you congratulated Bob after his win last year in the Scottish Open. I'm not sure if your paths have crossed previously.
We haven't.
How impressed have you been, though, with the way he's attacked, becoming one of the world's elite golfers? Yeah,
it's impressive what he's done to play in the U.S. and compete and contend is very impressive. And being a lefty and he's got his dip of the head, it's really cool to watch him play. And that's why I think the game of golf is so cool, because from any walks of life, any place, you can come play if you work hard enough. And I think he's shown that, and he's an elite player, and it'll be fun to play with him on Thursday.
And do you think you'll learn anything from his links experience over the next couple of days?
I plan to. Yeah, I definitely plan to. I want to see what he does.
Number 3, please.
Bryson, going back to the official world golf ranking, what changes or tweaks to that application would you see being the most effective in potentially gaining world ranking points?
That's a great question, and one I don't know. I don't know fully. I would say that there are definitely grounds upon which we can change some things. Definitely relegation, for sure. More pathways into LIV. I think a global tour, more association to a global tour would be great for a feeder system and to LIV. Those things I think could help quite a bit, albeit I don't know the details. I think those are a few of the bigger points.
Do you throw your opinion into the, these discussions and the table, or how does it work with these kinds of processes in LIV?
I'm not in the room when they're talking about these instances, but I do give my feedback to Scott when I can. And we talk quite a bit, but not directly about that. It's about a few other things that are important as well, but obviously the world ranking points is huge. I think it's big for us to have these players that are just jumping on board still collect points. They are deserving of it. They're playing some incredible golf every week, and I think having a system in place for us as players would benefit the ecosystem of the game tremendously, especially for fans.
Number 4 in the middle, please.
Hi, Bryson. Have you made any equipment tweaks to your bag setup this week for the conditions that you're going to face into?
I'm trying to, but I just can't find something right now. This is a big enough difference for me to put it in play. Tried some golf balls, tried a 3-wood. There's not really much. If anything, I could put in a driving iron, but I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I got to go play the course and see what fits, because there's some times when I can hit a super high 5-wood downwind and stop it soft on the green. That would be quite useful, but into the wind it's not, so it's kind of a give and take. I haven't really changed much this week yet.
Number 1 on the left, please.
Hi, Bryson. David, Sport Nation, New Zealand. Two-part question related to LIV scheduling. John Rahm, sort of over the last couple of years, been maybe a bit critical about lack of a links course on the LIV Tour. Do you think that would be beneficial in terms of getting reps and something you'd like to see? And second part is there's some murmurings of a LIV New Zealand event coming on board. And would that, have you been to New Zealand and would you like to see that added to the circuit?
New Zealand's a beautiful place, and I'd love to go play golf in New Zealand. I don't know where we're at with that, but I'd be excited to play there. I think that playing a link-style golf course is what we need to do. There are some hindrances to that currently that I think is pretty public. I don't know if it is necessarily, but it's difficult to play links golf courses currently under what's going on. I think at some point we'll be able to do that in the next few years. Until then, we're just going to have to ride it out. But we definitely want to. We've thought about that from the inception of it. Getting it onto a links golf course has been nearly impossible.
Do we have any more questions for Bryson? Yep, just in the back, yeah.
Oh, double question. All right, here we go. Come on.
I like that idea of playing in a hangar or a dome, and I'm curious.
I do it every day in my head, so it's a bunch of nothing going up there.
What scores would you guys shoot if you did? So, you know, every par 3 is 175, every par 4 is 450, every par 5 is 550. There's no conditions.
And no trouble, really? It was
no trouble.
Okay. Par 72?
Par 72.
Let's see. Elevation? No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. I think you'd have guys shooting close to 60. Yeah. You look at Palm Springs, right? That's pretty much like a dome sometimes in the mornings. So they play really well at La Quinta and whatnot. And that would be kind of the same likeness, I think. And so you'd have guys shooting close to 60 every day, a few of them. And there'd be some 72s and 73s. But if you're playing well, you can shoot 65 or less pretty easily.
Yeah, I guess the related question would be like, okay, how much? There's all these obstacles that is what a golf course is, right? There's all this stuff that we put in the way, all these challenges, but how much is it those obstacles versus just basic execution of the golf shot? Does that make sense? Yeah,
I would say that there's a little bit of luck involved too, right? Let's say you pull it and it bounces off of around a bunker instead of going in it that day or whatnot. So there's a bit of luck that plays into it. But for the most part, if you have put us on a stock normal golf course, like one of my public golf course, in my public golf course series, there's some golf courses that are almost more difficult because the greens are not as good. So there's more factors too as well. If they're perfect greens, oh my gosh, yeah, we can shoot close to 60 if it's a tour caliber golf course. But if it's not as conditioned, it becomes more difficult for us to roll it in the hole just because of luck. So there's numerous factors that play into it for the conditions. But from an execution perspective, yeah, if you give us a normal tour course in those conditions, we're shooting under 65 quite a bit. But in my public golf course series, there's times where I shoot literally 1 or 2 under par because just get some bad breaks and bad bounces and I'm not putting well. So it's actually quite fun to do that and humble myself quite a bit. I think I'm pretty good when I go out there and then all of a sudden I shoot 300. I'm like, oh my gosh, 400, what am I doing with my life? So, yeah. And I know it's still 400, but that's the way I think about my game when I go play public golf courses.
Number 4, thanks.
Bryson, what was the thought process in your return to the Avoda irons?
Yeah, for me, so I had built the LA Golf irons, and we just made the wall thickness a little different. And just for some reason, well, I know why, they were just coming off a little hotter. So we're working on building the new set to where it's the same wall thickness, and I'll put those other irons right back in play. But they were great. Everything else was flying straighter. It was doing what I wanted from the sole interaction, you name it. it just was flying over the greens at Oakmont, and that ultimately cost me making just a cut, which was disappointing for me.
Do you think, in terms of time frame, do you think you'll be in these LA clubs in time for the Ryder Cup?
For the Ryder Cup? 100%. Yeah. I'll most likely, a very good chance I'll have a different driver and new irons in the bag, for sure.
Do you feel any pressure to play well here this week for Keegan to maybe solidify your...
I feel pressure every week to play good for not only Keegan, but myself and the people that that I love online and everybody that's watching me. I absolutely feel pressure.
Extra pressure, though?
I put enough pressure on myself already, so, but yeah, for my country, for the game of golf, I do. But I'm excited for the challenge. It makes me more excited. When I feel those nerves, I'm like, okay, let's go. It's like I'll walk through the fire rather than run away from it for me.
Great. Number 2, thanks.
Not unrelated to that, Bryson, it seems like you're in a very good and very happy place, possibly professionally the happiest you've been in your career so far. Is the good golf as a result of the happiness, or is the happiness a result of the good golf?
I think it's just being more comfortable in my own skin. I'm not happy every day. Some days it goes up and we're human, right? But I struggled a little bit last week, the last day, and I just had a good team meeting and solved some stuff. And I just feel like I'm in a really good spot right now with everything going on and where I'm headed with equipment and life in general and business and my health and whatnot. So I'm just grateful as well. But yeah, nothing's ever smooth. There's always stuff going on behind closed doors. But for me, from the golf perspective, I'm pretty happy with what's going on.
We'll take these last questions that are in the room. So starting with 3, please.
Hi, Bryson. Links greens are typically larger and slower than the greens you guys play on most of the time. Do you have an opinion on whether that suits good putters or does it help worse putters?
I just look at the smoothness of the green. They could be slow, they could be fast. As long as they're smooth, the best putters will win. And that's all I care about. So as long as this week the greens are smooth and they're not bouncing and moving all over the place, the best putter that feels the wind the best is going to win. And that's what I would attribute to good golf as well. So to kind of answer your question, I think it's more of if the greens are smooth, then yeah, the best golfer will win on any size green, on anything. But if they're slower, faster, you got to be able to adapt to be a great putter.
Number 1, thanks.
Hi, Bryson. I have 2 teenage sons who are huge Bryson fans, and every teenage boy I know is a huge Bryson fan now. Have you seen a difference in fans' attitudes to you now compared to Bryson 1.0 to Bryson 2.0 post-YouTube?
Yeah, I think people have just seen a different side of me on YouTube, and I'm still the fiery, want-to-go, competitive go-getter that I've always been. But seeing a different side of me on YouTube where I can have fun, I can enjoy, I can, I try to relate to others as much as I possibly can, has been fun to show. Because I personally care about the game and the health of the game. And, as time goes on, I'm not going to be here forever. So what footprint do I want to leave, right? And I think it humbles me and almost makes me more passionate about what I'm doing off of the professional golf course because of the likes of what you just said. That's what continues to inspire me and continues to make me want to go film content and create and be the person that I know I am. Now, does that bring in other factors of expectations and whatnot? Yeah, you got to be able to deal with that, and that's where the pressures that he was talking about, right? There's sometimes more outside of it, and it almost gives me good perspective on that. And so, for me, I always go back to what footprint can I leave now? I'm not going to be here forever, and I'm not going to win every tournament. And am I going to get frustrated playing bad golf? Yeah. Am I going to want to still sign autographs? Yeah, because I care about the game, and ultimately, that's the footprint I want to leave is inspiring a future generation to play this great game that every one of us love.
And
Last
are you ever
question
surprised?
from-
Sorry, are you ever surprised with the reaction you get when you come to somewhere like here?
Yeah, it's fantastic. They're just screaming and yelling the name. It's really fun. It can be overwhelming, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
And our last question from number 4, thanks.
Bryson, Scotty was in here earlier talking about how the bunkers here, you're not going to see as much at some other links courses where you have a leg sticking out, it's the same shot in the bunker. Two guys have completely different shots. One gets really punished, one's a pretty easy bunker shot. Just curious your perspective on predictable outcomes. Does it bother you when two of the same shots get different outcomes, or is that something that you embrace as part of a links challenge?
Well, it does bother me, but I also understand it. That's the game we're playing. You're going to get bad breaks. I'm going to get good breaks, vice versa. It's just going to happen. And staying out of those bunkers, they're hazards for a reason, right? And so staying out of those bunkers is the number one priority. So whether it's fair or not that's such a subjective thing. It's not really objective. You can't strokes gain it, really. You can, but it's really perspective based. And this week for me, I'm trying to bring in a good perspective. We all have perceptions about it, but I want to have a good perspective on it, saying, look, it's going to happen, things that are going to happen. But I think Scotty's point is valid, that, yeah, it is different. But at the end of the day, like, we're all playing this game with the same relative conditions. And, you're going to get lucky, and maybe I'm not going to get lucky. And that's just the way golf is. So whether it's fair or not, it's very subjective.